Love and Learning, an innovative teaching technique. Reading and language development, birth to 3 years. 3 important points. Number 1, the average child watches over 5,000 hours of television before first grade. Number 2, teaching reading helps speech and language development. Number 3, infants start organizing sounds and language soon after birth.
My name is Joe Kotlinski, and I'd like to talk to you about a technique that helps special needs children with language and reading development. Now, to review those 3 important points. First, the average child will watch over 5,000 hours of television before first grade. That's more time than they will spend in elementary school. So it's important that we use television wisely. Number 2, the key to teaching language is to teach reading at the same time. It was always thought in the past that first we teach a child to speak and then we teach them to read. But experience shows that by teaching reading and language at the same time, your child will learn them both faster and easier. And the third point, infants are listening to and organizing sounds soon after birth. A study was done at the University of Washington that indicated that infants as young as 6 months of age are listening to and organizing sounds. Now, they're not using these sounds or speaking words, but they're storing away these sounds that they hear for later use. So it's important to start early. That's why we like to start a technique between the ages of birth to 3. Now, taking into consideration how much children are fascinated by television, that teaching reading is the key to language development, and also that children are learning soon after birth, we put together a learning kit that includes an audio tape, set of books, and videotape. Now, the first part of our learning kit, the audio tape, this is put on at nap and bedtime. This is not sleep learning, but because it's quiet in the room and it's darkened, it's a chance for your child to hear sounds and they'll pay closer attention to it because there aren't so many things going on at the same time. It's important to get this part of the routine. Even if your child's sleeping right off the bat, it's okay. Put the tape on, let it play out. Next time, though, flip the tape over and put it on. Important to get a part of a routine of nap and bedtime. What's on the audio tape? In this first learning kit, we say the letters of the alphabet and an associated word. Why the alphabet? Well, because very young children are not saying words. They're just trying to vocalize. So the alphabet is great for that. And we can use that interest in the alphabet later on when a child starts to read. But we put the tape on at nap and bedtime. Like I said, it has the alphabet. And eventually a child, after weeks and months, and depending on their age, they will start talking back to this tape. So we have the letters and an associated word in the audio tape. And then the next part of the learning kit are the books. And the first book is an ABC book. But what's different about our books is the way we present information, letters and words. It's in a very clear format so that your child can focus. When we show the letter A, there's nothing else on the page. In fact, it's only on one side of the page so that there's no confusion. When you say the letter A, that's the only thing that's present in front of them. So you read through this alphabet book once a day, and at the end of the alphabet book is a very important word because, see, there's something in these books that we can't put into any computer program, videotape, or audio tape. And that special ingredient is you. Because what we're going to do at the end of the book, we put the word hug. And you just give your child a hug. The idea is that what we're doing is we're making the connection between the good feeling of being with mom and dad and the learning process, language and reading development. Now, that's the ABC book, but we also present words in this first kit. And what we do again is when we show a word, there's nothing else on the screen or on the page. So what we ask you to do is break it down phonetically. Say apple, so your child can hear how the word is put together. Then turn the page, there's a line art drawing, and say the word apple again as a normal speech. There are 5 small books, and at the end of these there's always the word hug, and the whole idea is we're going to make this very fun and fast and enjoyable. So it should only take you 2 to 4 minutes a day to read these books, but it's very important to get this part of the routine again, just like the audio tape, because that's the key, is to present this information just a little bit but over a long period of time. Now, the third part of the learning kit is the videotape. What's unique about the videotape, again, is the way we present information, letters and words. There's nothing else on the screen, so again, your child can focus. This videotape is 20 minutes long, the child's portion, just about long enough for a very young child attention span. When is this started to be used? Well, even if you have an infant, you can put the videotape on, because even if they're not looking at the television, they're still hearing the sounds of the letters, and they're hearing the words broken down phonetically and then as a normal speech. And that day when they look over at the television and see the moving pictures, well, it'll all start coming together. It'll be even that much more interesting to them. So we start, even if a child use the videotape, you don't have to wait until they watch television, but you can even start it when, just put it on when they're in a room. Now the videotape has some unique things to it also that we can't put in the books and in the audio tape. When we present words, we break them down phonetically, but we also have that portion of the word that is being pronounced being moved up and down, and your eyes naturally follow what's moving on the screen. So for instance, the word bus, we have the B move up and down when we say buh, and then we have the US move up and down when we say us. So again, your eyes are following what's moving, so you get the phonetic presentation of the word along with the sight reading. But here, let me show you exactly what I mean.
B, ba, ba, B. Ba, us, bus, bus.
As you can see, the information, the letters and the words are presented very clearly on the screen. This way it helps your child focus. Also, there isn't a lot of music going on at the same time. When a letter or word is said, that's the only sound that's being present at that time. These are the keys to helping a special needs child be able to understand what's being presented to them and helping them to focus. Now the videotape is part of a learning kit. The learning kit again includes an audio tape, set of books, and the videotape. The videotape has a presentation on how to best use the materials to meet the needs of your child. Then when you rewind it to the beginning, then there's the child's portion. The child's portion varies depending on the learning kit, between 20 and 25 minutes in length. Now, there are 7 learning kits. The first 2 learning kits work well together. The first one works with vocalization for an infant and gives an associated word. The second learning kit is called 50 Fundamental Words. And this is a list of words that was given to us by a speech therapist that said that basically these are words that are in the early language development of a child. So that's why we based that second kit off of that, and why we call it 50 Fundamental Words. So you can use these 2 kits together, even if the child doesn't have to master the first one before watching the videotape of the second. You may hold off on the books from the second, maybe the audio tape from the second, but they could watch both videotapes. As I tell people, I think if the television's going to be on, why not put one of our tapes on? Because when you see how it's structured, you know they're going to get something out of it. It's just like having a teacher coming in and showing flashcards to your child of the words, but even better than that, because we can break things down phonetically on the screen. You know, when the letters move up and down, your eyes naturally follow those letters that are moving. So the child makes a connection between those letters and those sounds. And when do you start using the videotape? Even if your child isn't watching the television yet, you can put the videotape on, because they'll still hear the sounds. And that day when they glance over at the television, well, then they'll make that connection between the sound and the moving pictures, and things will become very interesting for them, and they'll wind up watching the videotape hundreds of times over the weeks and months. There are 7 learning kits that we have at this time. We start out very slow at the beginning, and then we start piling in more and more information as we go along.